this to be ready, so everything will be clear.
Don't worry, focus on
Okay, let's get started now. So, hello everyone, welcome to my project journey. So the idea behind the presentation was from my father. I asked him if he had computer science skills, what will you do with them? He said, well actually I will create a system that will tell me who's in the company and outside the company. So more like a monitoring system. So I like the idea, and this is how I get started, and Esther helped me to achieve that. So let's talk about the project in general. So what is the project? The project simply is, as you see here, we have a user. User have an NFC tag. Let's say this is the tag connected to the website, and from the tag connected to the database. User simply just scan in and scan out. This was for Android, but it will be replaced for iOS. So simply NFC reader, swipe it against the NFC tag, and that's it. You are the attendance system. And why I chose NFC, it's more secure, and from the academic papers I've read, it uses the passive security, which is it's not broadcasting, not wireless, not Bluetooth. So that's why, and also the UID, which makes it unique. Prototyping, so let's talk about the plan. So my objective was to create an attendance system, but my aims were three. One of them is to create an attendance system. Not only that, it's connected to a website. Why? To make it easy for non-programmers to see what I'm doing. And anyone who has no experience in programming. The third phase, or the third aim, I would say, the third objective. My aim was to create everything, which is the attendance system. The objective were three. So the third one, which is indoor location. Indoor location was challenging for me. So let's talk about the design before I get into this. Design simply, this is in the system. So this is how I control it. I'm the admin, I'm sorry if it's not clear. But this is the admin, this is the database, this is other users using the system, and this is the managing the check-in. So okay, so I know I keep a record of them. So this is the website, this is the database, and this is what the user does. So normally users scan in and get in the system. Users scan out, so I will know if they are outside. So I'll talk about that more in detail. My challenges, well, it was fun. Library NFC, it's a Google library. So the first challenge was how to get it installed. Documentations were outdated. This is what I meant by docs. And I had to do a lot of research to get it installed on Raspberry Pi, done on Unix, then Mac, then it worked. So it's not only that, the MySQL on Unix was not easy to install. Even if it was on Mac, I had, I waited for like a month to do it by myself for Mac. But for Unix, Ubuntu, it's working. So these two were the two phases, which is the two objectives. The first one that I said, which was the attendance system. So getting that to get the attendance system. And second one was using for the website. So these two bullet points for phase one and phase two. Phase three, which is indoor location, the last two bullet points. This is the name of the NFC reader I used. One of the challenges that it did not have its own identifier. What do I mean by this? It's like a postcode. From the postcode, I can know where you are. This didn't have its own, let's say, postcode. I would not be able to have multiple readers, and I will know automatically where the user is. So that was my challenge. Then I was thinking, alternatively, Estimate. Estimate could be my solution. It's a different technology, Bluetooth. It's not NFC, but that could be actually solving the problem. So changes of development. In my literature review or project proposal, I mentioned that I'm using waterfall model, which is going in steps, going from the conception and initiation and going in steps and then going back. But actually this is not what I did. So this is what I changed. I used Agile, which is going from the beginning, as you see in the UML design, then after that going right away into testing. I jumped into testing after knowing what I wanted to do. So that was the first thing. Agile development methodology was the first change. The second one was using Arduino. So if you tell me why are you thinking about something else? Well, because estimates, to implement an attendance system in short time is not easy for me, especially when I get not a lack of support here, I might say. Okay? Because the problem with using Estimote is how to get MySQL in there, how to get a server in there, and how to get all what I've did for the past 2 months ready in less than a month. So it would be difficult for me to achieve. But however, building Estimote demo is ready. I could show you a demo, but that's not attendance. It's a monitoring that will be, you will see it, and also even the indoor location too, manually, not dynamically. So I've done it manually.
Okay.
So let's talk about the technologies. NFC tags, the ACR, the Amazon one that I bought, is certified by ISO. It is not cheap, it's not expensive, it's moderate, in between 40 pounds, let's say, with some cards. The NFC Arduino, with the computer itself, the Arduino, with the tag, RFD tag, it's 30 pounds. So this is really cheap. And because it's cheap and I bought Chinese one, it did not work. So I'm thinking now, I should actually not use anything that's cheap and think about it buying from the same company. So I bought one from the same company, even if it's too late now. Okay? So let's talk about the Estimote stickers and beacons. Are they cheap? Are they expensive? They are expensive, but they are supported. What do I mean by supported? Supported by the community. They sent me a message today. They told me, how is your project going? So they ask you, how are you? You know, and they have support and forum too. So I had the use case you sent me, and I posted it in their forum, and they said it's a good idea. Let's implement it. So you see the support coming. Is it expensive? Yeah. Is it cheap? No. So this is the answer to the question: which technology? If you're talking about something cheap, actually you could use NFC Arduino. Something that's moderate, you could go with the NFC tags, which is ACR122U, the one from Amazon, or the third one, which is the expensive one. So, let's talk about the discussion for latest studies that I've done. Okay, these studies, let's take the first one. The first one is talking about how to implement NFC with it. So you use a server, and you use the student cards, and what you do, you scan the student to the NFC reader, and from that, you're actually doing a monitoring system by using the student card. So I got the idea from creating a server. They had a server, so I said, okay, if they did it in a server, I might do it as well. So that's why this is the first study. Second one, the university is using RFIDs. The one that most of us are using, which is the RFID, is the NFC reader. When you go inside the gate, or before the gate, what you do, you actually scan it, which is access control. I did not think about it. It had the unique identifier. I only know now. If I knew before, I would not have actually bought the one that I'm doing now. But this is a use case that I learned from. Other use case, the indoor navigation. This is how I made sure, because that it was supported and referenced from more than like 10 people, I could say. Why? It says that indoor location is implemented and tested with NFC. So I said, okay, if I've done the research, then I could do it. The rest of them, this is also confirming and emphasizing using a server. The rest of them is using a server too. Not only that, they're using actually the Android app. So these 3 studies are using the NFC technology and using the web server. The last 3 is using what? Is using the Android app to achieve the scenario. Okay, let's go next. Prototype screenshot. So I started with, this is the reader that I talked about. Started with the attendance system achieving this as a phase 1, or let's say objective 1. Objective 2, migrating, syncing everything in there. So you see some results in here. So phase 3 is using the indoor location Estimote. This is the person. We're going to see this in a minute. I'm going to install these, the beacons, and then we will see that. Phase 3 also, this is a replacement. If this did not work, this is a backup. It should actually show us that you don't have to do that. You can install for each room the Arduino, and then you can swipe it automatically. So my argument is that I had a big challenge how to do this automatically. I didn't want the user to be involved in the system. Swipe in and go. I'm responsible. But to do that, I have to do the 3-2 phase 3 as you see at the end. So one of them is not done, but I have a demo that it's not achieving it, but I've done it manually. So I said that twice, but I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so in the future, if you ask me, well, if you start again, what will you do? Well, actually, I'll use the Uni. I'm not gonna use mine now, the NFC reader. Uni's NFC reader is really good. It has its own identifier, and I can use it to achieve my objectives and aim. Using estimate to stopwatch attendance. This is you're going to be seeing. You see this in a minute with the pseudocode, and I will use Arduino to do this automatically with a Wi-Fi, and I'll explain that later. So now I think it's showtime. So let's show you what I've done, but I have to get my laptop in here. Am I good in timing now? How is my timing?
You are good.
Okay, so let's get my laptop in here. So how do I connect the HDMI?
You can have your videos.
Okay, let's go. It's a big laptop.